Maybe the most important part of playing a trumpet is also something that's very simple, and that's blowing air. The air making the lips vibrate is what makes the trumpet a member of the brass family. Now we'll discuss a few ideas that will hopefully help keep this very easy and natural and make sure you're very successful playing the trumpet. It's probably best not to overthink using your air too much as a young trumpet player. I would just give you a word of caution to make sure that it feels easy when you're blowing out and easy when you're breathing, and you don't want to feel a whole lot of tension. Just like if you're speaking. If you're speaking at a regular conversational level, your body tends to know how to breathe in properly to make and blow out properly across the vocal cords to make your voice appropriate for that situation. If I'm outside and I'm going to yell a long distance, my body will naturally adjust and I'll move the air in an appropriate way. We don't really have to think about the way we breathe too much when we're speaking because we have a clear idea of what we're trying to do. And on trumpet, if we can make sure we have a clear idea of the volume and the pitch we're trying to play at, I think the air will probably adjust very efficiently without us getting too involved mentally. Again, we want to make sure though that when we're breathing in and out, it feels nice and easy and relaxed, just like you're yawning or just free and gentle. And if you feel a lot of tension there, then that's probably something you might talk to your band director about, or maybe get a private lesson and discuss that with someone more in depth. The amount of air you're blowing controls how loud or soft the trumpet is. So if I'm blowing a large quantity of air into the trumpet, it's going to be very loud. If I'm blowing a small amount of air into the trumpet, it's going to be softer. The speed of the air controls the pitch. If I'm blowing very fast into the trumpet, it will be a high pitch. If I'm blowing slowly, it's going to be a lower pitch. And ways to kind of show that we already know how to do this would be to simply make a hissing sound. If I make kind of a low hissing sound like this, that would be a lower note. If I make a high hissing sound, that's going to be a higher pitch. So this would be going from low to high. It's that simple. We already know how to do this, fortunately. So again, the amount of air is the volume, and the pitch of the hiss, or the speed of the air, controls the pitch. Probably the greatest classical trumpet soloist to ever live was Maurice. He's extremely famous French trumpeter, and his recordings were a lot of the first that were ever available of a lot of the standard classical solo repertoire. You can see in these photos he's holding a smaller trumpet. It's actually called a piccolo trumpet, and it's sort of like the one you're using. It uses it's half the length actually though, and this instrument is very useful for performing music from the Baroque period. So composers like Bach and Handel. We'll get into more of that later, but this is definitely a performer and artist that influenced me a lot when I was younger and your age. I listened to a lot of his recordings, and so I hope you can check these out now and enjoy them and appreciate how he kind of paved the path for the trumpet to become respected more as a soloist and a solo instrument, because it wasn't always the case. Maurice, one of the greatest of all time for sure.